Remember all those to be situations where you weren't allowed to use ser? Those situations where is, are, and am didn't translate to es, son, and so on? It's time to learn some of the words that you can use in those situations, so that they don't have to stay in English anymore. The verb that we're about to learn, the name of the verb, the infinitive, is estar. Estar means to be, specifically in the sense of how or where something is, not what it is. Ser always means what something is, but estar means where or how it is, generally speaking. You can think of all kinds of situations where you would use that, because you would pretty much use it in any place that to be can't translate to ser. Let's just go ahead and learn some conjugations. So, recall the memory palace that we used for ser, where you were at an indoor carnival getting ready to go to a bouncy house. The person running it was on the left side, your close friend was across from you, the pandas were on the right, and your own group of friends was around you yourself at the bottom of the scene. We'll use a different scene for estar, a different place, but still laid out like this. Also, all of the people will be exactly the same except for one. So instead of a bouncy house run by a snake, we now have a gimmicky magic shop where an eccentric lady sells magic wands. The lady has a star-shaped hat on that's supposed to have magical properties, but it effectively just makes her look like the Statue of Liberty, but don't tell her that. Meanwhile, you and your friends have found some items lying around in the store. You yourself have picked up something that looks like a big, fake, yellow cardboard star. Your close friend, the curly-haired, freckled one on the hovercraft making air rays, is showing off that he knows how to juggle. But the magic wands that he's using to demonstrate look very sharp. Plus, he's of course perched precariously on the hovercraft, so this seems a bit dangerous. He's throwing the wands in the air and catching them over and over, shouting, "Toss, toss, toss!" You tell your friend, "Hey, that's cool and all that you can juggle, but you're in a store, so that's rude. Plus, you're near people with those sharp objects." But the thing is, when you tell him this, you're thinking about the fact that he's tossing them in the air and yelling, "Toss, toss, toss." So when you say, "You are near people," what you say is, "You estás near people." This word means are, as in you are, specifically for the verb estar. So you would use this when talking to a friend about where or how they are. Meanwhile, the toy that you're holding represents the word estoy, with a stress on toy. So to say I am here, you would say I estoy here. But to say you are here, you would say you estás here. The lady who owns this place, meanwhile, is wearing this star-shaped hat and looking very smug. One of your friends asks her about the hat, and she responds, "I would think you would be honored that a star would be among you." Apparently, she thinks that wearing this star-shaped hat makes her a star, but she pronounces it with a fake British accent. Está. The word está means is, as in he is, she is, or it is. This is the most common conjugation. It's used for singular third-person subjects as well as for usted. So in a formal voice, you are here would be usted está here. Before we learn the other two words in the scene, let's just go ahead and practice these. Remember who is where and who is holding what. So how would you say, "The dog is near here"? This is third person, so you would use está. The dog está por here. Next, you are here. That's your friend who's tossing the magic wands, so that's estás here. Now I'm going to throw some ser conjugations in here to make sure that you can effectively choose one verb or the other. In each case, make sure you can effectively choose one verb or the other. So in each case, you'll first determine whether it's ser or estar and choose the correct scene based on that. Then you'll choose the right person and therefore the right word. So the next one is, I am your friend. So this is a case of ser because it's what you are. And so this would be, I soy your friend. Next, you are with my friend. Which verb is this going to be? This is estar, and since it's you are, it's estás. You estás con my friend. He is a student. It's what he is, so it's ser, and so this one is he es a student. Next, I am at the park. This is where you are, so it's estar, and the first person here is estoy. I estoy en the park. Let's learn a couple more words. In the ser scene, we used a group of pandas who were standing at a window to the right, and they taught us the word son. In this scene, in estar, these same pandas are standing to the right, but it's kind of dark, and they're standing on a toy sword. Their word is están, with a stress like standing. So you're like, hey, they're standing on a sword over there. And to say they are on a sword, you would say they están on a sword. Meanwhile, your group of friends around you gets in trouble. The main theme of this whole shop is magic and stars, and apparently the store owner has left a pile of little star-shaped stamps on the floor of the store. She asks, "Hey, where are my star stamps? Wait, are you guys stamping on my stamps?" So you look down, and it turns out that you and all your friends have indeed stepped into the pile of stamps, and now your feet and legs are all covered with these little star-shaped stickers or stamps. The word for we are, represented by your group of friends with the stamps all over them, is estamos, with a stress on stam, which sounds kind of like stamp. So once again, picture this whole scene in your mind. Recall each of the 5 different persons or groups of people, and remember what they're doing and what word it represents. We're actually going to learn quite a few more words today in even more scenes, so you want each one to be as distinctly vivid in your memory as possible. Let's test with a mini quiz. I'll mix up some ser and estar examples. Make sure that you determine which of these 2 verbs you'll be using, then go to the appropriate scene and choose the appropriate person for the sentence. First, you are my friend. You eres my friend. The girl is here. La girl está here. I am at the park. I estoy en the park. You are here. Estás here. You could also say you estás here. They are by the park. They están por the park. I am your friend. I soy your friend. Here's a tricky one. I'm not here, but she is. So this would be, no estoy here, but she lo está. So you can see the lo está thing happening. This does happen with estar as well as with ser, where we learned he isn't my friend, but they are, or he no es my friend, but they lo son. But it doesn't happen with estar as often as it happens with ser. Ser is a very strict word, and you can't end a sentence with ser without connecting it to something. Estar is a little more loosey-goosey. But anyway, you will see this happening sometimes with estar. Next example. We are with your friend. We estamos con your friend. You are with my friend. You estás con my friend. He is a student. He es a student. If you're doing pretty well with these, go on to the next video, which is a slightly longer quiz to test you on these estar and ser forms even further. But if you aren't successfully guessing the verb form more than 80% of the time, I recommend doing a little exercise that we have our coaching students do. Get out a piece of paper, roughly draw 2 maps of the 2 scenes, and make sure that you can write out all the correct verb forms in the right places. Then review the lesson based on what you got wrong, and then try this mini quiz again. You'll find you do better on it. Once you're getting 4 out of 5 of these right, roughly, go on to the next video.